Conditioning, are you happy with it?
It's not really I'm not really as much judging that at the moment. It's definitely, we got to get used to practicing in these elements. We've definitely been working them in terms of the conditioning piece, so I'm not exactly worried about that at all. I think that, day one off of a longer weekend and a little bit of energy probably, up and trying to do all the right things and do it at a high level, probably lose some legs and a little bit of focus. And I think that's kind of what happened today a little bit, but good opportunity to turn it around tomorrow.
The offense and coming back from the shoulder.
No, not good. We're not good. We're trying to get better, right? I mean, we're not even close. We're working towards playing in September, obviously. And so at this point, it is strictly how much can we actually learn from every day. We're not evaluating, maybe some of the things that you would normally evaluate in a game, right, or in the season. It's like, how many mental errors did we have? How much can we continue to be disciplined with our communication, formations, alignment, assignment? Are we going to catch every ball and throw every ball out here in the first day of phase 3? I would assume not. But more in terms of the operation, the communication, are we understanding what we're trying to get accomplished out of the calls? It's a learning phase, not necessarily a competitive phase. And do you want to be cleaner? Absolutely. Do you want it to look perfect? Yes, we all do. That's just not the reality at this phase, this time in this phase.
Mentally,
No,
that's kind of
not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. No, he's mentally, he's done a phenomenal job. This guy, in terms of his work ethic, what he's put into this thing and his own time while he's here, the play calls, handling the load, all that stuff, I've been very impressed with.
You said that you were going to build this around him, seeing it all for the first time on the field, going up against defense. Just what did it look like to you?
Young, in terms of just, hey, we got it. First day, putting it all together. It's not going to be as clean as you'd like it to be, as I kind of already alluded to. But what's cool is you do feel a little bit of an energy. You saw Travis make a couple plays when the ball went his way. You see the hands that he does present. I thought De'Ami Brown had a really nice day prior to kind of getting a little bit. I mean, he was feeling it. I mean, these guys, you could tell talking to them. Yeah, they were feeling the heat. They were feeling their legs a little bit, and ultimately, that's what this is all about, is trying to get those back underneath ourselves, getting better into football shape. You can run, you can do all these things all you want, but until you start going out there in football and doing it, it's a different feel. I thought he's done a nice job so far. I have. I mean, he has those fluid movements, long range. I thought he had a nice day, specifically today, but also leading up into today. I just think he's done a nice job stacking blocks. He's got good vision on the quarterback right now, playing a little bit of a different scheme than he's been playing over the last year, and being a little bit more vision on the quarterback, patience, playing a little bit of off man. I just think that's kind of where he's going to be able to excel. He's got confidence right now, which is always good from a corner. I've been really pleased with Tyson thus far.
What is your approach for handling ones, like the starters? Do you rotate that day to day, week to week?
It's it's rep to rep, honestly.
Yeah.
It's rack to rack is really kind of what we talk about, is, hey, getting guys in with the ones in the first rack and then slide them in with the twos with the next rack, and trying to give guys opportunities without, like I said, knowing they're not truly getting judged and graded on the, competition right now. It is. We always want to compete in everything that we're doing, but ultimately it's about trying to create that continuity at times within the system, within the offense and defense and the calls. So there's really no like, hey, these are the starters that are going to be out there first game against Carolina. Do you have some ideas? Sure, but ultimately there is a lot of competition that will occur, especially throughout this off season and as we get into training camp.
What was your initial take on that? And obviously every game's important.
Yeah.
Any game that you're looking forward to?
Yeah, I think ultimately you look at the first one, right, and it's against a team that we played twice last year, had a couple good games against, obviously in division opponent in Tampa, and obviously a team that's continuing to grow, right? They're a team that new head coach last year, trying to get into it, showed some really good signs, I thought, at times last year. Dave's doing a great job with that team and that organization. So that's the one that's obviously circled at the moment. And like you said, they're all hard, right? They're all tough. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. And We just have to kind of take care of ourselves at the moment and get better each day.
Drills, is that one of your philosophies to really keep moving?
Yeah, we're not out here all that long at the end of the day. And so, the whole thought process is just, hey, keep moving, from a conditioning standpoint. If we're going from drill to drill, we're buzzing around and we're not walking on the field, well, we don't have to sit here and do extra conditioning after, or they have to go with the weight room staff and go do extra conditioning. That is a philosophy thing for us as a team, and just keeping guys moving, keeping it going. Ultimately, we do need some breaks. We need to let them kind of cool off and give their thoughts a minute. But I thought they, handled it for the most part.
And then what we saw over there was that young guys.
Yeah,
rookies?
developmental.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a developmental period that we use towards the end of practice to kind of get those young guys, the rookies specifically, in those reps, right? Just getting them true full play calls in a jog through setting where, man, it's more about, again, the alignment, assignment, technique, fundamentals, and just trying to give those guys some more reps that maybe they're not getting in the course of the normal practice.
We've talked to
one or two joint practices.
One as of right now.
Okay.
One as of right now.
With
Yeah. Miami.
we've talked a lot about the progress of the offense so far. Just what are your thoughts on where things stand with the defense so far and how they've taken it from the classroom to the field?
I actually thought they did some really good things today. I thought just from a communication standpoint, punching the ball out, doing it in the right way though, right? We had a couple guys just trying to be intentional about getting the ball out and getting their hands on the football, something that we're, actively trying to be intentional about this whole offseason. And I thought the defensive staff's done a great job of communicating that in the meeting settings, bringing it out to the practice field. I thought that they did a nice job kind of setting the line of scrimmage, playing with length on the D-line, and, the ball was out. I mean, the ball was on the ground too many times for us offensively, but hey, on the flip side of it, that's the first time as a head coach you actually kind of have to be very neutral in those moments where I'm kind of ticked off that the ball is on the ground from an offensive standpoint. But ultimately, man, defense did a nice job of getting the ball out there today for us. The defense is typically always ahead. It's just it's a little bit more of a go line up reactionary kind of phase, if you will. There's a lot. I'm not diminishing what they have to learn defensively. There's a lot of calls, a lot of different fundamentals, communication that has to occur. I think naturally you would say offensively there's a lot more that ends up maybe slowing you down pre-snap and post-snap. But yeah, I mean, I would hope that the defense would be a little bit further ahead, to be honest with you. I think typically that's the case as you go all the way through training camp and as you go into the season. Yeah, I mean, I think so far so good. I mean, he had a couple missed assignments today that, he knew right away. He came off the grass and took accountability for him. The one thing you notice is a guy that hasn't played a ton of football or, been out conditioning maybe for the last 2 months because he was on a little bit of a tour. The guy can run forever. I mean, he just kind of goes, runs a route, runs back, runs. I mean, you can tell he's in football shape, and he was, he's done a nice job. Edgar Barrett, the coaches, Ron Milas, those guys have done a great job of meeting with them when they've had time to do so, and Travis has worked hard at getting this stuff right.
Pleased to see.
Yeah.
With that.
Ultimately, it's voluntary, right? And you have to. All we ask is ultimately, if you're not going to be here, can you communicate to us in a timely manner? And that's been consistently getting better as we've gone, and it really has over the last few weeks gotten so much better just from a clear communication on, what are the expectations if you're going to be here. We're setting schedules, we're setting up individual work that we want to be individualized for some of those players and anybody. So I've been pleased with the guys that have obviously been here and working. They've done nothing but, do what we ask. They've been doing it from day one. They've worked their tails off. They seem to have good energy at all times. And it's not always easy to come out and be buzzing around. Ultimately, these guys are, it's their jobs, but they've done their jobs to a high level. The ball on the ground today, that's kind of stands out. But I thought last week, as we were kind of getting more into the scheme, and he was getting a little bit more comfortable, I thought he started to get a little bit more into it, had a couple better runs of feeling the zone and being able to stick his foot in the ground and accelerate. So, good learning experience, first time in a live setting in the National Football League on your first carry. story. Hopefully you learn something from that moment, but I think all together that running back room's done a nice job in terms of the competition, the acceleration and the teaching for some of those young guys, and also the veterans doing a nice job of trying to help those guys out as well.